Welcome back to part 2, the science of influence. How trust allows people to become open to new ideas. So now that we understand how influence really works, the question becomes, how do we actually apply it in everyday life? Wherever you are talking to your partner, helping your child, leading a team, or speaking with a client, or simply trying to have a difficult conversation, the principles are exactly the same. Influence is not about having the perfect words. It's about creating the right condition for another person to become open to your message. Here are 5 principles that can completely change the way you communicate. So, number one will be begin with a clear intention. Before every important conversation, ask yourself one simple question: what do I want this conversation to achieve? Not what do I want to say, but what outcome I am hoping for. Do you want someone to support your idea? Do you want your manager to approve a proposal? Or do you want to sell a product or a service? Or maybe do you want to schedule a meeting? Um, or do you want your child to spend more time reading? Your words become much more intentional when your purpose is clear. Whenever the situation, the clarity about your goal is the first step towards effective communication. The second one is understand the person before trying to influence them. One of the biggest communication mistakes we make is assuming that everyone thinks like we do. They do not. Every person has a different experience, different fears, different values, different motivation. Wherever you are giving a public presentation, talking with your spouse, communicating with your children, meeting with your children's teacher, or speaking with a client, every audience is different. Each person has a different values, priorities, and emotional needs. Speaking to a close friend the same way you will speak to a client simply will not work. The better you understand what matters to the other person, the easier it becomes to communicate in a way that truly resonates with them. Because influence begins with understanding, not speaking. Number 3 will be focus on shared benefits. People naturally become more open when they see that everyone wins. So instead of making the conversation about what you want, show them what both of you can gain. For example, we both want a peaceful home. Let us figure out a solution that works for both of us. Or we both care about this project's success. Let us combine our ideas instead of competing over whose idea is better. We both want to feel understood. We may see the situation differently, but our goal is the same: to strengthen our relationship, not to win an argument. Let us find a solution that works for both of us. When people feel that you are working with them instead against them, the resistance begins to disappear. 4. Build your message on meaning, not just facts. Facts, yes, they're important, but facts alone rarely change people. The strongest messages combine logic with meaning. The strongest arguments are supported by evidence, facts, personal experience, or concrete examples. So use examples, tell stories, share experiences, paint a picture that helps people understand not only what you mean, but what it matters. Research show that couples who spend quality time together have a stronger relationship. You give facts, but you could also say, do you remember our weekend in the Keys? We laughed more in those 3 days that we had in the previous 3 months. That trip reminded me how important it is to slow down and reconnect. You see, you already put that image in his head. People remember stories far long that they remember statistics. Number five, listen more than you speak. One of the greatest communicators is not necessarily the best speakers. It is often the best listener. Pay attention to the other person's words, but also notice what they do not say. Watch their facial expression, their tone of voice, their body language. And if they seem confused, slow down. If they seem overwhelmed, ask a question. If they become defensive, reconnect before you continue. Great communicators do not simply deliver message. Listen carefully to what they are saying instead of thinking about what you are going to say next. Stay open to their feedback, emotions, concern, and body language. Then adjust your message based on what you observe. And after every important conversation, take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, did I create understanding? Did I strengthen trust? What can I do even better next time? Because every conversation teaches us something if you are willing to learn from it. In the last part, I want to talk about the 10 principles of influence and how to apply it in real conversation. Now let's bring everything together. These are not manipulation tactics. These are not tricks. They are psychological principles that align with how the human brain naturally builds trust, connection, and openness. When used with integrity, they help people feel understood, not controlled. One will be reciprocity. I'm giving you an example, but you can apply it everywhere. Imagine you would like to go on a vacation, but your husband keeps saying, we should save the money, or I am too busy, maybe it'll be better next year. People naturally feel inclined to return a favor when they remember someone has supported them in the past. How can you influence the conversation without arguing? Remember him of a time when he supported you and show appreciation. Something like, I really appreciated that you supported me when I wanted to start my new project. It means so much to me. I would really love your support on this too, because I think we both deserve a chance to recharge. Here is I am reminding him of a previous positive experience and invite him to respond with the same support again. Number two, commitment and consistency. People like to act consistently with what they have previously said or believed. Use phrases like, do you remember when you told me how important your health is? Connect your request to something he has already said. Do you remember when you told me that family always comes first? Taking a few days away together is one way we can invest in our family and in our relationship. Here I'm connecting today's decision to a commitment we already made together in the past. Number three, social proof. People feel more confident when they see that others have already made a similar decision successfully. For example, I was talking to our friends and they said taking a just one long weekend together made them feel so much closer. Sometimes stepping away from work is exactly what a relationship needs. Social proof give your message a greater credibility because it demonstrates that others people have already succeeded. Social proof also reduces uncertainty. Number four, appreciation. One of the most powerful ways to open someone's mind is begin with genuine appreciation. I really admire your patience. I appreciate how thoughtful you are. So, another example would be one of the things I admire most about you is how hard you work for our family. That is exactly why I think you deserve a break. I really admire how analytical you are. You always think carefully before making decision and you rarely let good opportunities pass by. I admire your ability to take action when it matters. Let us make this decision together and build something meaningful. People open their hearts when they feel genuinely valued. Number five, authority. We naturally trust information that comes from credible sources. Instead of saying other people are doing this, you rely on trust experts. Think about the toothpaste advertising that say recommended by dental professionals. 9 out of 10 dentists recommend it. We have no idea who they are. You could say research show that couples who regularly spend quality time together shows lower stress level. Expert opinion strengthen your argument because they reduce uncertainty. Authority should inform, not replace the critical thinking. Number six, scarcity. People place greater value on opportunities that are limited. This principle is used constantly in marketing and sales. And this example include registration closes this Friday. There are only a few places available. This opportunity will not gonna be available forever. Scarcity creates urgency, but it should always be honest. The hotel has a special offer that ends this week, and we both have these days off. If we want to do it, this is probably the best opportunity. Scarcity creates a sense of urgency that encourage action. Number seven, emotion. Facts inform. Emotion inspire action. Instead of speaking only to the mind, speak to the heart. Imagine how proud you will feel. Think about the peace of mind this could bring. Picture how your family will benefit. People often remember how something made them feel long after they forget the exact words. Help him imagine the emotional outcome. Can you imagine us sitting on the beach with no emails, no deadlines, just enjoying each other's company? I think those are memories we'll remember years from now, not another week at work. It is about helping people emotionally experience the future that you are inviting them to create. Number eight, contrast. Sometimes clarity comes through comparison. Instead of saying something is good, show how it differs from the alternative or compare to the difference is. On the other hand, contrast help people make decisions more easily. By presenting two alternatives side by side, the benefits of one option becomes much more obvious. So compare the two possible outcomes. If we stay home, the week will probably feel like every other week. But if we take a short trip, we come back rested, connected, and create memories together. Number nine, analogies. Another influence tool is using analogies or metaphors. The brain understands complex ideas faster through familiar images. It is like planting a seed. Think of trust like a bank account. A relationship is similar to a garden. A simple analogy can make a complicated idea unforgettable. Our relationship is like a garden. If we never take time to care for it, eventually it stops growing. A vacation is one way we water it. Analogies make complex idea easier to understand because they connect a new information to something familiar. They are especially effective when communicate with children, but they can be also very powerful with adults. Number 10, storytelling. Stories are one of the oldest and most effective principle of influence. Share a meaningful memory. Do you remember our trip to the mountains a few years ago? We laughed so much, talked for hours, and came home feeling closer than we had in months. I would love for us to have that feeling again. Stories activate emotion, imagine, and memories. People might forget statistics. I said that before, but it's so true. They rarely forget a meaningful story. A few years ago, let me tell you something that happened to me. Stories help people experience your message instead of simply hearing it. Stories create emotional connection because people remember experience much more easily than facts alone. So the next time you have an important conversation, do not try to use all 10 principles, but choose one. Practice it intentionally. Reflect on what happened and then choose another one. Because becoming a great communicator is not about mastering techniques, it's about becoming the kind of person who naturally creates trust, understanding, and connection whenever you go. And when trust becomes the foundation of your communication, influence follows naturally. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.